I have no experience managing writers because I write everything myself. I don't have any help. Everything that I do is all me and always has been. I don't trust anyone as much as I trust myself.
To find people who show up and are also excellent writers is not easy to find. I think I went through 20 people to find one person who I felt worked like I do, shows up like I do, and also is a good writer.
Hey, I'm Carrie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time. All around, welcome. I'm Carrieblogger, a career freelancer on Fiverr.com, where I've been selling as a Fiverr Pro verified copywriter for about the past 8 years. And in today's Freelance Friday video, we are doing part number 3 of my incredible interview with Alex Fasulo. She is now a dear friend. Alex is doing incredible things across the entire freelance marketplace. Oh my gosh. If you're coming from those other videos, you know the deal. If you're new, she is earning well over $300,000 a year as a full-time freelance copywriter. She also has received some incredible recent press from CNBC. Across the board, she's killing it. And you can find her on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Fiverr, everywhere. You should, because she's great. Today's video is a deep dive. She is being so transparent and genuine and amazing about her outsourcing strategy and scaling up with a team in order to achieve the rates of success that she has. But before we can get into that, we've got to announce this week's Blogger of the Week. If you would like to be the Blogger of the Week, just like No Brains, I don't know if I'm saying that right, all you have to do is drop a comment down below and you might get picked. And you don't even have to be a blogger to be the Blogger of the Week. I am immensely curious about your outsourcing strategy. Question.
I'm more than happy to be transparent with it. The only thing I don't share, because this is now these people's personal info, is what I'm paying them. I'm more than happy to talk about the structuring of it though.
Do you have like set contracts with them? Is it, or is it like just by need? Do you kind of have a hierarchy of the top people get work first, and then if you're too busy, you kind of work down the list?
No, I don't, but that's actually an interesting way to structure it. I may take from that. Right now, I just have a Slack channel going, and I have hired them based on their expertise areas. So I have someone who is specifically good at ebooks. I have somebody who's specifically good at more articles, PR. And then I have someone who's kind of a catch-all, and he's been with me the longest since 2019. It used to just be me and him for a while. And I actually just recently started working with my best friend, who I've been begging to come work in a PA manager role with me for years, because she's a CPA, so it's perfect. And 2 weeks now, she's been working with me, and it's a godsend. So I'm actually going to work on having her almost be a manager to these people down the line, so it can almost operate on its own independent of me. That's my goal. But no, I'll more so assign them based on the type of work that I have coming in. And without getting into too many specifics, usually after a year, I'll offer an increase in what I'm paying per word count. And I'll also give them a bonus at Christmas time because why not?
I have no experience managing writers because I write everything myself. I don't have any help. Everything that I do is all me and always has been. And my biggest concern is I don't trust anyone as much as I trust myself. And it's not even like I was the kid. I mean, I didn't like group projects, but it's not like I think I'm better than people. I enjoy doing it, and I do it like the way I want to. So like, I'm curious if you had the concern of like, is this actually gonna save me time? Is me having to read through and fix things gonna like be less like, or more counterintuitive? Or did you just get lucky in finding talent that you can really trust and does things the way you want them to?
Yeah, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head for me with a constant battle with this, because as you know, writing is so unique and specific to each person. And combining that creativity also with an intense work ethic is even rarer, I've found. To find people who show up and are also excellent writers is not easy to find. So this first person that I've been working with the longest, I think I went through 20 people to find one person who I felt worked like I do, shows up like I do, and also is a good writer and doesn't cut corners and proofreads their work and does all the things that has to go into it. Went through 20, found one, and then, had to monitor them for a while. And at times constantly be like, is this even worth it? Like, is this even worth it? And, it ended up being worth it in the end, but it took me months and months and months to find this one person. And then, my second go around at it now, I don't really have the time to hold someone's hand again and do that work with them. So I recognize, this is great for now, but is it scalable to a huge business? I don't know. I don't think so at times. By putting in those months of work, it was worth it to find him. But I had to put in, 5-6 months of work, frustration, stress.
With that talented writer from 2019 who does connect with you on that level, is there a reason that they are choosing to continue to work under you? Do you worry that they're just going to set off on their own and be like, well, I clearly am talented, I can make more on my own? Or is it like the stability of having easy work without having to do like lead generation of being a part of your team? I'm curious if you know.
I think it's how I pay comes to a pretty nice amount per month to not have to worry about any part of managing a business. And, this is another independent contractor. They're not my employee. So, he does reserve the right to say to me at times, hey, I'm getting married next week, I'm going to be off all weekend, bye. Whereas, on a Fiverr, you can't do that with your profile and still have success with it. So I think he gets the best of both worlds in a lot of ways and likes that about it. He also does he has his own business on the side of it as well. So I think it just works perfectly for he and I.
This is more of a sensitive question, so I don't want you to feel like I'm judging you here. I'm just genuinely curious. Do you feel conflicted over marketing yourself as you being like the face of it, saying, I will write for you if you are outsourcing to a team? Or is that something that you feel like with you having the final say is equivalent to you still being who they think they're working with,
Both things. So I do that on a case-by-case basis. When it comes to my social media, I'm always careful to comment that I have a team now. In the last year, when I write my monetary statistics, I'll say, my team of writers, I'll make sure I attribute. I'm never going to stand up here and go, hey, I made this whole empire completely by myself, praise me or anything. I'll always make sure I bring it into that. As far as a Fiverr goes, if somebody asks me point blank on Fiverr, is it you doing my writing? I am honest with them and I'll say my team, my team if they ask. If they don't ask, I guess the business person in me says, do you call up the person at Forever 21 and ask them who exactly made the shirt that they're wearing? And so long as it is done well and it is exactly what they expected, I don't necessarily feel I have to brief them. But no, that's a great question from a freelancing standpoint. It's case by case is how I approach it.
And then if there is a problem with something that a team member writes for you, I assume that you're reading through everything before it gets uploaded to a client. Do you take care of those changes, or do you ask them to take care of it? Or does it kind of just depend on like the time, how much time's left?
If someone files a revision and it was somebody else on my team who did it, I will send that revision over to them and say, hey, they had a problem with X, Y, and Z. Like, can you please correct this today? And at times, if they'll say, I can't today, of course, things pop up. Let me tackle it. And then I'll go in, I'll read their writing, and I'll attend to the revision for them. There's no like black and white with it.
So besides the downsides of the risk that's associated just inherently with you not having like as much complete control as if you did it all yourself, and then obviously the challenge of finding talent that you can trust and rely on, which obviously took a while for you. Are there any other downsides that you feel like you're kind of battling with, or just sometimes worry, like, is this worth it? Like we were talking about.
I guess the entrepreneur in me sees that it's not totally scalable. Like I love operating without a ceiling. That's why I do all this. So sometimes I feel frustrated because I do see that there is an eventual ceiling with this, in that it is not going to be scalable to find 200 people who I know are not going to slip up, who are not going to cut corners, who are going to write the way I expect them to write. It's hard work. That's another thing. I'll have a ton of people also quit on me because they're like, oh crap, this isn't what I signed up for. And nobody wants to actually do the work sometimes that comes into this. So I'll feel frustrated in knowing that this could never be a massive business. And I guess I've always dreamed of being the boss of a huge business of some kind, but it's also hard to walk away from because it's flexible, it pays really well, and I still get to do what I love every day, which is write. I'm just happy we did this. I think we should do more of these, you and I. And yeah, I think you're great. And thank you for having me on.
Wasn't that such a lovely chat? Yes, it was. Thank you again, Alex, so much for being here. I absolutely love chatting with you. If you are on the third video, this is the end of our little interview series. But if you didn't see number 1 or 2, those are linked in the description down below. Be sure to check those out. If you're still watching, you know you are my actual hero. I am so glad you're still here. And if you like this content, please be sure to just do me a teensy little favor. Drop a like on the video down below and consider subscribing. It's completely free. Also be sure to check out my freelance apparel designed by and for freelancers at bit.ly/carriemerch. Remember, you are worth more than your workload. Let's get back to work.